G'day, I'm Kate Grarock. How are you? Today we are on beautiful Ngunnawal country on Mount Ainslie, and we're going to go for a walk and a bit of an explore. It's spring, so all the birds and flowers are blooming, and it's just such a beautiful time to be out and about in Canberra. And you might hear I've got my little buddy with me, Lupo. My little dog Lupo is coming with me today, and he's pretty excited because he can smell some kangaroos. This is a shingleback lizard, or a stumpy tail, and you can see his head looks very similar. Woo! That's cool. His head looks very similar to his bum, so it's like a defense mechanism. Kookaburra will come down and go for the bum, not the head. Very cool. Hey buddy, I'll leave you alone. See ya. Check this out. These leaves are quite different to the leaves of this eucalypt here. See, they're sort of round. These skinny ones are actually mistletoe. So this is a parasite on the tree, and it's got this beautiful relationship with the bird. It produces these berries, these red berries that are really, really sticky, and the mistletoe bird loves them. Mistletoe bird eats all the berries, and then when he goes to do a poo, they're very, very sticky, so the bird's got to wipe its bottom on tree trunks to get the poo out. And that's how they get placed up there, and that's how they tap into the tree. Come on. What are you doing? Come on, out. Now this is a cute little dam that's filled up in the bit of rain that we've had, and there's a whole heap of frogs that I can hear calling here. And the coolest thing about frogs is that every species has a different call. And so just by sitting here quietly, I can work out what species there are. You hear that one like marbles? That's Crinia signifera, the common eastern froglet. And in the background, I'm not sure if you can hear it, it's one of my favourite birds, is the black cockatoo. You can hear them sort of up here. There's another one I can hear that's going bup, 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 and that's Limnodynastes tasmaniensis, or the spotted marsh frog. Bup, 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 that guy. And then you can also hear one that's like a creaking door, like wah, wah. Yeah, that's him, and that's Crinia parasignifera, like a creaky frog or something. We'll call him that. Bup, bup, bup. This is a beautiful leopard orchid, and these are just magnificent. And this time of year in spring, just every week I come out and there's a different orchid flowering. So precious. So this little guy here is a kangaroo apple, or bush tomato, and so it's got these beautiful purple flowers on it, and then it has this sort of a round fruit that looks like a tomato. When they're green, they're actually poisonous, so yeah, obviously not one to mess around with, but it is a beautiful traditional food that we have here in Australia. You're welcome. This has to be one of my favourite plants at the moment. It's Austral Indigo, and you can see these beautiful purple pea flowers, and the First Nations people actually use it, crush it up a bit and put it in the water body, and it would stun the fish or kill the fish, and they'd all rise to the surface. And so it's a pretty amazing little useful and beautiful plant. I've actually planted some in my backyard because I just think it's so gorgeous. Check out this beautiful Hollowbearing tree behind me. Now these are so important in Australia. We have something like over 300 species are dependent on hollows for nesting. That's like sugar gliders, possums, and many, many native birds. But in Australia we don't have anything like woodpeckers that can create these hollows. So it's all dependent on natural process of rot and decay, and that can take years, 50, 100, 150, 200 years for some hollows to form that are big enough for some of our bigger animals like our powerful owls, which are huge native owl species. And you know, there's a lot of competition for these, and things like introduced honeybees can get in there and take over nests. I've even seen ones with native parrots inside, where the bees have taken over and killed the parrot and the eggs. And so these old trees like this that have these hollows are just so important for our wildlife. This way. Beautiful little Yam Daisy. Well, I've just popped onto a section of the Centenary Trail. So Canberra has this big, long walking track. I think it's about 145 kilometres that goes pretty much from all the way in the North Canberra around to the south and back up to the north. And it's just this beautiful trail that goes through all our nature reserves. There's only one camping site on there, but yeah, I've been sort of section hiking it over the last few years, and it's just a really cool way to see different parts of Canberra that, you know, that I'd never normally get to. This is a beautiful early Nancy. Look how colourful it is. This is a native cherry, so it looks quite different to many of our native plants, and it almost looks like it doesn't belong. But there's this beautiful little fruit. You can see this fleshy part with a seed on the end, and that's a native cherry. Now, I don't think that's quite ripe. They turn quite red. I was also reading that the sap on this tree was used by the First Nations people to treat snake bite, and that's just incredible. Alright, I'm almost back at the car. Thank you so much for watching. Huge shout out to my subscribers and my members. Thank you so much for your support. I hope you guys are doing well, and happy hiking.